What's up, guys? This is Multifaceted. This is a show where you get to see another side of me, Daniel Cormier, the 2-division UFC champion, and my little buddy, the soft-speaking Jazen Anderson.
This is wild.
The soft-speaking, non-Madden playing Jazen Anderson.
Unbelievable.
We talk about video games. We talk about sci-fi, movies. We talk about our nerdum. From Game of Thrones to video games. We're going to talk about all kinds of things that you generally wouldn't associate with me and who I have been to the public eye. But today, we are joined by Steve-O. And while you may think that it's going one way, this went all kinds of the other way. We talked about Steve-O in clown school. We talked about WWE and him getting demolished by Umaga.
Why he hates video games.
But like why and how he ended up in clown school because he didn't like video games. We also talk about his dislike for the circus. Dude, it is amazing. Also, wait. This is the best part. Steve-O wanted cauliflower ear, and he went through some insane extremes to try and get it. You would not believe what John Jones did to this dude trying to help him get cauliflower ear. That story is nuts. Let's go.
One of the greatest of all time, Daniel Cormier.
Guys, welcome to the first episode of Multifaceted, and you could not have asked for a better guest than my man Steve-O. I'm Daniel Cormier. That's Jazen Anderson.
Good.
And this is the legend Steve-O. Now,
Yes.
Steve-O, the one thing I want to talk about first is the cauliflower ear, because that's near and dear to my heart. You went on a journey trying to get cauliflower, but how in the world did it not work with some of the stuff that you did?
It's I've been told that there are certain people who just cannot get cauliflower ear. Yeah. And I'm starting to think that I might be one of those people because I had Chuck Liddell, Ronda Rousey, Jorge Masvidal, and John Jones all give it hell trying to give it to me.
And you didn't get it. I got mine at 15 years old. But mine actually is better than most people's. Because at 15, when mine puffed up, Steve, I just never drained it. Draining it is actually one of the reasons why it continues to puff up.
All right.
But Chuck Liddell looked like he was punching you in the side of the head. He hit you with a freaking golf club.
With Chuck Liddell, we were like trying to make it like real creative and you know, like kick a football and whack a golf club up and hit me with a hockey puck and you know all this stuff. It wasn't the most effective way. then with Ronda Rousey, like she was just straight grinding my ear.
But that's exactly what it normally takes.
Right.
It takes the grind of the ear.
And then with Jorge Masvidal, he put his BMF belt over my ear. Like on a door, like
oh my God.
A door, and just hit the belt. You know, like you would think that would work really well.
But why do you want cauliflower?
Yeah, that's a real question.
Because when a man has cauliflower ear, he gets respect.
Yeah, dudes don't mess with you when you got cauliflower ear.
That's true.
Right? You think a little bit twice whenever, like, yo, I'm about to fight this dude. Then dude's got like a puffy cauliflower. You're like, it's about to be a tussle. Well, Anthony Smith, the fighter, UFC fighter, guy tries to break into his house on drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Dude was a state champion wrestler. Anthony goes, I'm at 3 a.m. I'm in a dog fight with this dude. Because this dude's taking him down. But it's that cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. But for anybody who listened to the podcast you and I just did.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said, come over here. I'm going to tell you this story. With Jorge Masvidal, he puts his BMF belt and he's pounding on the belt on my ear until like the door's bloody and stuff, you know. And he says that's it, you got cauliflower. And dude, Ronda Rousey said that's cauliflower. I think we got it. Jorge Masvidal says that's it, you got it. And I was filming this for my new comedy tour, which is multimedia. It's called The Bucket List. And after each bit in the show, after each bit in the show, I screen the footage of the thing happening. So one of the bits on The Bucket List is trying to get cauliflower ear. And I filmed with Jorge Masvidal, and I was like, yo, you know, this is, got him to sign release forms and everything else. This is my big project I'm working. And then before his fight, this first fight against Usman, like he's putting out this thing where he's charging money, and he's got all the cauliflower ear footage in there. And I'm like, dude, I told you that was for my big project. Like, I got you to sign a release form. Like, you didn't get me to sign anything, and now you're selling the footage. Like, I was kind of upset, and I told I told him, hey man, it's all good. It's a good thing I love you. I love you so much, Masvidal. And the good news is that I'm the boss of my own project, so I can let it slide. There's no big deal here. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, Masvidal's like unfollows me, and like,
really,
you know, I was saying that's what didn't make any sense to me, because I was like, wait,
you took the high road.
Right, yeah, I was like, dude, you did me dirty, and then I called you out, said it was cool, but then now you're like, you know, and the thing is that Masvidal's got the same, and Masvidal and I are cool since then, you know, like we're cool since then, but at the time, like, he just decided that he was upset with me because I was upset.
That's fighters though, sensitive.
Right. And Masvidal and John Jones have the same manager.
Yep.
Or they did at the time. Yeah. And I think that like right when that went down, all of a sudden I just stopped hearing from John Jones. But
he went dark on you.
But not before John Jones got a try at giving me cauliflower ear. So we're at John Jones's house, and he's got like his barbells with the, you know, whatever the weights.
Gosh.
We put my ear in between the weights, the big round ones on the thing, and he's like elbowing the.
Oh my goodness!
And my ear comes out of there, and John Jones says, "That's it, you got it. That's cauliflower ear." And then a few days later,
still no cauliflower.
Nothing happened. So the last thing we did. On John Jones's one of his workout machines, I put my ear on like the metal like base bar. He puts his belt, which at the time was the current light heavyweight championship belt. It was right after he defended his title against Dominic Reyes. And he puts his belt on my ear on this metal thing and fucking hits it with a hammer. He's hitting it with a hammer.
A hammer.
A full-blown Home Depot hammer. And like, it seems like everything's cool. And in this footage, it's the craziest thing you've ever seen. In this footage, the hammer hits it, and then all of a sudden, one hit, and blood just splatters.
Oh my God!
Out from underneath this belt, it just splatters, and
he freaked out.
We all did. We all freaked like, oh! and then we look, and sure enough, my ear is blasted apart. Like it's blasted to where a whole piece of my ear is just hanging down. And it's the most intense thing you've ever seen. We got a pair of scissors and just chopped off this whole piece.
You
of my
chopped
ear.
off that piece of your ear with the scissors? Who
John
did it?
John.
He's a sick fuck. He's a sick fuck. I told you. I've always known he was a sick fuck.
Right.
But he chopped off your ear.
Yeah, just one piece, and now you can't. Now you wouldn't even be able to tell. But dude, I screened this footage during my bucket list show after the cauliflower bit. It is the most, like, the whole crowd, just because I got the video playing in the theater. And dude, I have 3 different videos that have proven to make full grown men pass out completely.
Oh
I
my
got
God.
two, I got men because one of the bits is called the vasectomy Olympics.
Oh.
And dude, it's hilarious. But dude, there's a certain type of dude who sees a vasectomy, fucking passes the fuck out in a seat.
Daniel Cormier is one of those guys. I
be me
pass
too.
out if that
Yeah.
happens.
But yeah, so and thank God I got that footage with John Jones because I mean, dude, it's epic. You know, you get the blood splattered everywhere. He cuts the piece off my ear, and you know, it's like the best of both worlds because the footage is insane, and I don't have to worry. I don't have to deal with having cauliflower ear.
You don't have to get it anymore.
Dude,
Like
couldn't-
so you've given up.
There's nowhere to go from there.
No, it does not get anywhere.
There's nothing left to do in trying to get cauliflower ear. And I took the same approach with John Jones, which thank God, because I do everything like pretty buttoned up and like professional. It's like, hey man, here, like you know, I sign the release forms.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But the next time I was supposed to do something with John Jones, just crickets. And I think
Wow.
I
You thought it was the Masvidal thing, maybe.
I think the only thing I can guess is that Masvidal's manager like was turned him on me, you know, and it's a shame because like for a minute there, like John Jones and I were cool, you know, like and you know, what are you gonna do, man? There's a guy who I've become really good friends with. I won't even name him because I don't want to throw him under the bus. But he says, "Yeah, dude. Like when I die, I need John Jones to be one of the pallbearers at my funeral, so that he can let me down just one more time."
Oh my God. That is well, if you and John weren't friends before, you're not gonna be his friend anymore. It's over. Y'all's relationship is over, dog. It's over.
What are you gonna do,
What
man?
are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like I just know that the way I go about my shit, that I didn't burn anybody.
No,
I
no.
didn't do anybody wrong, you know. So whatever was going on in that situation is petty bullshit at best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, hey, you know what? If there's just certain people, man, that you can never make sense out of them, and you gotta let them do their own thing.
Gotta let them do their own thing.
Man. That's good thing about walking away from Masvidal is you didn't get that 3-piece in the soda.
Right.
You know, you're talking about that attempt or that journey you went on to get cauliflower.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you a question. You and I talked about it on your podcast. I go, the reason I watch Jackass and all the stuff you do is because I kind of want to see you get hurt. But
Right.
as you get older, do you start to take like notice of like, man, we got to be a little more careful? Because I know when I was fighting, as I got older, I recovered slower.
Yeah.
I was a little more fearful. Like, is there now like a little bit more fear as you guys get older? Especially now, seeing the last Jackass movie, there were new people in there
Right.
opposed to just the old crew.
I think because dude, now I'm 47 shit, and next month I turn 48, so I'm like hella pushing it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm almost as old as Chuck Liddell was when he did the Tito 3 fight.
And
You
that
know,
was bad. That was bad, bro. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
It was really hard to watch. And I talked to Chuck about it on my podcast. I was like, you know, I see it from both sides. I understand where Dana's coming from, that old men shouldn't be fighting. At a certain age, you don't need to be getting hit in the head. And I respect the hell out of Dana for trying so hard to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
I respect Dana for holding his position that he wanted no part in that. He hated the idea of Chuck fighting. And I respect Dana for essentially paying Chuck to just not fight. That was Chuck's,
but that's what he was doing. That was his job.
That was Chuck's only job, was to just not fight. Yeah. And I respect that. I see it from Dana's side, and I see where he's coming from. I respect the point that Dana was making, but I also see it from Chuck's side. I also see that, you got that in you.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, you got that in you, and like you can't take that out, you know. And I was particularly close with Chuck because we did this thing in Peru. It's this weird mountain climbing show that we did. You know, this is where I found my dog Wendy in Peru, and I remember Chuck was like, they had like a satellite phone because we were so ass deep in the mountains. I remember Chuck coming back from using the satellite phone, and he goes, "Jones popped for." We found out on your
really?
second, right after your second fight,
Christ.
and
In
then
Peru.
found out, yeah.
That's
And
nuts.
I can confirm Chuck was giddy about that.
He doesn't like the guy. No, well, Chuck and Jones have had their own run-ins also.
Right. But Chuck was giddy about the fact that gave you your belt back.
Yeah, Chuck's always been a great guy. But do you worry? Do you worry?
Okay, so to that point, I understand Chuck's position. For me, there's a lot going on with it for me particularly because I've been making videos since I was 15 years old. I started in 1990. So I got 32 years of videotaping myself being an asshole under my belt. You know, and now about split that down the middle. You know, I've been clean and sober for 14 years.
Yeah, congratulations
Thank
on
you,
that.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
congratulations.
appreciate it so much. You know, I'm so grateful for it. Now, when I got clean and sober, I thought to myself, oh, shit, dude. You know, like here, my life depends on living this way of the 12 steps, you know, like about like, you know, and in recovery, in this whole world of the 12 steps, you know, we really emphasize the importance of humility and of deflating the ego, you know, of adopting like a spiritual way of life. And I'm like, how does being a fucking Steve-O the jackass vibe with
I
that?
know, for sure.
And I really...
Well, because we would say stuff like, you watching it, you're like, them dudes got to be on drugs. Like,
Yeah.
you got to think like these guys are like high to be able to do the shit that
Right.
they were doing. And obviously, from the outside, we didn't know you were. But obviously, you know, like you said, when you got clean, it's like, shit, I'm not that guy that's on drugs.
I made it pretty clear that I was.
I didn't know.
You know, I mean, no, then like that, like my whole thing was I'm the wild, crazy guy who's all drunk and all the time, and for, you know, but maybe to someone that was not like seeing me on TMZ. TMZ called me their second favorite train wreck after Tara Reid.
Tara Reid. You don't want to be behind Tara Reid.
But dude, just the TMZ saying anything about me made me so happy.
Yeah.
You know, that was me then. So right when I got clean and sober, I thought, can I even have a career being a fucking asshole anymore? Like being an attention whore is so at odds with what, you know, and I knew that I had to put recovery first. And so that's what I like for my first year of sobriety. I just put down the camera. I didn't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, when I was about 1 year sober, just to test it out, I did the Dancing with the Stars show because I didn't have to travel for it. I could rehearse just down the road from my little halfway house I lived in. It didn't require me to you know, do dangerous shit or act like it, but it was just a way to just kind of dip my toe in the water and see show business, like being
Can I handle back being out there?
Right. And it was the worst experience because here, like, I'm 20 million people are watching this show and I just suck at, you know, it's just it was an uncomfortable experience.
Of course.
And it really tested me. But it was a responsible way of getting back in front of the camera. Then, like, not too long after that, Knoxville calls up, says, hey, we're going to do Jackass 3. And I'm like, fuck, man. I can't turn down only the third good job I've ever been offered. You know? And so that was the ultimate.
Hey, you know what's an interesting fact, real quick, since you just mentioned the movie? When Cain Velasquez fought Brock Lesnar in Anaheim, you know what we did on Friday night? We watched the first Jackass.
Wow.
He took the whole team out to watch Jackass. He was like so into it. He wanted to go and watch it. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine, dude. I need to be cut off a lot. But that was when Dana was wearing the Dick House shirt at the weigh-ins.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all went.
Yeah, that's epic. But so the third Jackass movie, I mean, I had to do it. And I didn't know if I had it in me. Like, because that was when, like, that was the ultimate test. It's like, okay, so now, I was, right when we were still just starting to film that movie when I turned 2 years sober.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in a halfway house for my whole, up until 2 years because I took it so seriously.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know, there was no court, no judge that said I had to be in a halfway house. I did that for myself because I wanted to protect my recovery, my sobriety. And I'm like, now I'm taking care of myself. I'm watching what I'm eating. Like I'm actually, I'm like caring about my health, and I'm gonna go do all this Jackass shit. Like it doesn't, like in one sense, I thought I've survived so much to get to this point. Like now, like I said, going into that third movie, like I'll do whatever, but I don't want to risk getting paralyzed, and I don't want to risk getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's that dangerous.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot off the table.
Yeah, it does.
But on that third movie, I followed my own rules. And I said if I don't think there's a risk of getting paralyzed or killed, I'm in. Mm-hmm. And I didn't back out of anything, and it was so important to me to prove that I still had it in me, that sobriety had not turned me into a pussy.
Yeah.
So I was like more motivated than ever.
Nice.
And that at that time for that movie, I was like 35 years old. So the age wasn't quite the issue yet.
Yeah.
But then 10 years later, now we're doing a fourth movie with 10 years off in between. When Knoxville fucking told me that, dude, we're gonna make a fourth movie, I thought, you gotta be shitting me.
Really?
You're out of your fucking mind. Now, because some of the Jackass guys at that point were over 50.
Yeah.
Knoxville turned 50 while we were still shooting that movie.
Damn.
50
years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, late 40s, and some of us in our 50s.
It's so crazy that you guys do that, especially at this age.
Yeah. Right. And it's like, when I found out about the fourth movie, I had two thoughts. The word, I've been getting away with it on my own because over those last 10 years, I never stopped doing dumb shit.
Yeah, you kept it up.
I kept my asshole muscles strong. Like I was like my do crazy shit fucking muscles were strong. But I thought, like, as a whole group of us, man, we're so old, dude. Like, is it cool? Does it get to a point where it's creepy? And the other thing I thought was damn, like all it takes is just one. Like, is Knoxville gonna get in front of a bull and be in a fucking wheelchair now?
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary.
Yeah,
scary,
like I don't want to. That we have this great legacy, and we're gonna be rolling the dice where one bad thing happens,
But it goes off without a hitch, and it's
it's
considered the best one of all of them.
It did work great, and I think that to the original question you asked about, does it take longer to recover? Does it, like, the fact is, our bones break way easier now.
Yeah.
We have more broken bones going on, and it takes way less to knock us out.
Yeah. Well, knocked out. Talking about knocking out, like, and Jazen is a massive WWE fan. That's why we do this, right? Like, so we love all the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But he loves the WWE.
Wait, what's your story, man? Like, are you a fighter?
No, I'm actually just a nerd. So I've loved all this stuff, but I grew up in the fight game too. So my dad was a bodyguard for Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Mike Tyson, all
And
those
his
guys.
brother played for the
Dude, where
Falcons.
the fuck do those guys need bodyguards
Do you
for?
remember
It's for everybody else.
Steve, do you remember the Dirty Bird? The Atlanta Falcons, the Dirty Bird?
Sure.
It was his brother. It was his brother that did the Dirty Bird. He was the running back.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
But he wants to know about when you fought Umaga.
No, dude, it was.
And why weren't you at WrestleMania with the rest of the guys?
I was on tour.
Oh,
Oh wait, yeah, the Royal Rumble. I was there, but I tested positive for COVID.
oh, really?
At the Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah, they weren't messing around with that.
Yeah, we were expecting to see you come out with everybody.
Right, I was there, and we flew on a private jet to the Royal Rumble with Ronda Rousey, Travis with their newborn baby.
Yeah.
Cool.
We all had been tested. We got tested like 2 days before. We got tested the day before. We got tested that day, all negative. And then we get to St. Louis for the Royal Rumble, and they test me the morning, of the event, and that was when I tested positive.
Wow.
So I'm sitting here thinking, oh God, did I
Get Ronda's baby sick?
Did I get Ronda's baby sick? Did I get I was freaking out.
I bet.
Yeah.
I was freaking out, but luckily nobody else tested positive. It sucked because I couldn't make it to my own movie premiere.
Yeah, that sucks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I was on the red carpet via FaceTime, But yeah, that was why I didn't appear. I was there, but I was at the hotel, like quarantining, and that's why I wasn't at the Royal Rumble. When it came time for WrestleMania, I was just on tour, man.
Yeah, those guys went crazy in there too. Those guys,
I was happy that it was so well received.
Yeah.
I really, really respect that they didn't try to pass it off as a legit wrestling match by saying the anything goes rules.
Yeah.
Which allowed them to bring in props and
they brought in so many props.
Right. That made it fun. That made it make sense.
It did.
But I'm if I'm honest, I kind of felt like my job, my work in the WWE is done.
It's over, you think?
Kind of like I'm not gonna go turn around and try and get cauliflower ear after John Jones
Busted your ear with a belt and a hammer.
He blasted my ear apart with a hammer. Anything after that would be a significant step backwards.
Umaga beat the shit out of you.
Right.
Yeah.
And the same philosophy applies to the WWE for me, because we went in there. It was me and my Wild Boys buddy Chris Pontius.
Mm-hmm.
And we were promoting Jackass #2. So the year was 2006. I was 32, I think, 31 or 32. And we go in there.
I think Umaga's dead. Isn't Umaga
He did.
dead?
He had a heart attack.
He died. Yeah, like
I think it was a heart attack. Yeah.
Triple H almost had a heart attack this year.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Like, I mean, honestly, I think that's what get a lot of these wrestlers. But I think that because Triple H is so well connected, they caught it. I think a lot of these others, they have the same issue that he was having with a heart starting to like stop, and then they don't have like those great doctors around them to put him in the hospital and go, get here now,
right?
And we're gonna save your life,
right? I mean, and the other thing too, like these fucking guys do it every week.
Yeah, man.
That's the problem with the WWE.
300 days.
Sure. I mean, with UFC, you guys, I mean, sure, you're sparring, you're training, and let's not discount like what you guys put yourselves through in training, but it's not like you guys fight every fucking week.
Absolutely. Now, and they're doing it 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Their house shows, house shows, Raw, SmackDown. They're constantly working.
Even though I think that the roster of Raw is separate from the roster of
Not
SmackDown.
as much anymore. They're starting to combine them again. There's unified titles in the heavyweight with Roman Reigns, and the Usos have both tag team belts.
Yeah. I mean that, and it's fucking high impact shit, you know.
It sucks.
I learned that the hard way because
Why? What happened? Why did it turn like that?
We get in the we showed up like the afternoon, right? And we kind of blocked it out. It's really fascinating to be a part of it and to see how it works. We blocked it out. We did a rehearsal. Like, okay, we're gonna start off. I'm like, I'm gonna jump on the fucking top rope and do a backflip, into the ring first thing. And dude, thank God I nailed it so clean.
Yeah, like you could have ended up like Brock landed on top of his head.
I stomped it. I stomped it, and it was great. And I don't really have that in me anymore, man. I had to retire from backflips. So then it's like, okay, the first move, I'm going to do a handstand, and Pontius grabs my feet and flings me over, like this cool acrobatic trick. We locked that in. Then there's going to be like this like arm blast down. It's going to be like another thing. And then he's going to jump off the top rope and do a splash, right? That's the word for it. Like the body slam off the top rope. And that's the final move. That's the ending move. And we walked through, the difference between rehearsing these moves, because he jumped off the top rope in rehearsal, but then the difference between when it was live during the event, like it felt a lot different, man.
And faster.
When he, and part of me.
What did it feel like? Why was it so different?
Just because it's showtime, and I think that like the WWE has a long history of bringing celebrities into the ring, and I think that typically when celebrities go in the ring, they're gonna go pretty easy on them.
Yeah.
But we were the Jackass guys.
You guys didn't want that.
You can't go easy on the Jackass guys, and I think that like when like all the moves that we rehearsed during the show, they fucking hurt. He was hitting us like really hard. The problem was that I didn't understand
how to take that bump.
It wasn't that. I took the bump, but the problem was that I didn't understand the law of WWE, that the match is not over if you're still moving around.
Oh, you kept moving.
I didn't know that. And from all my years of being an attention whore, my natural reaction to getting hit really hard is to react.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, like, oh, I'm rolling around, like he does that final move, and I'm like, oh, I'm rolling around, like reacting to like what happened. But that's not okay with Umaga.
I didn't know that.
That's not okay with Umaga. You got to like play dead for it to be over. I'm still moving around. So Umaga was offended by that.
Oh.
You don't move around. Yeah. Like that's disrespectful to Umaga. So he keeps hitting me. And in my view, like, why is he still hitting me? We blocked this out. We walked through this. It's supposed to be over now. Like, why is he still hitting me? So I'm like, not only now am I still moving around, but I'm like, hey, dude, it's, I'm like, but that's not okay. That's not, it doesn't work that way. You don't fucking wave your hands around, ask him to stop,
Okay, fave.
Yeah. So now he's hitting me harder. Because
and he's a big dude.
Yeah,
he was a big dude.
And he's a very big dude. His fight name was the Samoan Bulldozer.
He's from that family up in the north where all those fighters come from, all the wrestlers come from, the Rock to the Wild Samoans, everybody.
But he dropped this elbow on my head that was distinctly the point where I don't remember anything.
Blacked out.
And it's crazy because he's like in what the footage shows, after like he dropped that elbow on my head, like I put my hands in like praying position, like I pray, I'm begging that you stop doing this to me. But like he kept doing it, and the thing was that it got so dark. Like I don't remember.
Holy cow!
I don't remember leaving the ring, and as he was still beating me, and in the broadcast, the graphic comes over, and they like go to commercial.
They're like, we gotta get off of this.
They're like, we can't show this.
Somebody
anymore.
go grab Umaga off of this dude.
Yeah. So the from the broadcast, there's no telling what happened. The broadcast never showed me leaving the ring.
Did he pin you?
I don't know. I don't know. The broadcast did not show what happened, and I don't remember leaving the ring. The next thing I remember, I'm in the control room.
What does Vince McMahon say after something like that?
Pontius tells me that Vince McMahon was just giddy. He's like, "Oh, dude, that was great." Pontius swears that Vince McMahon.
But he could tell you anything at this point. Like Vince could have been yelling at you for all you know.
Yeah, Pontius said Vince McMahon thought that was the greatest fucking thing he'd ever seen. It was like just jumping up and down, so happy, and I just don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, so to have had that experience, it was so fucking real. You know, like it was so real, like it was so violent. Like the acrobatics were so on point. There was some real with the backflip and the handstand, the acrobatics and the fucking hits, and like there's nothing that we can do at this age that could compete with that and not be a step backwards.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's smart.
So I'm glad that like I would have been there for WrestleMania, and I was there for the Royal Rumble, but it was beyond my control. That I'd like some other force kept me out of the ring.
Yeah, but at least you know now that you got to play dead.
It was the spirit.
Right? Like you don't want to get your ass kicked like you did that time. But you know, at least know that.
Right. I mean, dude, if anybody watches, I did a reaction video with Chris Pontius, where just after not looking at it for years, we sat down, we filmed ourselves watching it, and we gave commentary on it. Yeah. It's one of the most popular fucking videos I've ever put on YouTube. It's got something close to like 10 million views. Jeez. Yeah. From us just like kind of walking through what that experience was like. Right on. And yeah, I just don't need to be. I don't need to do that, man.
Okay. Now, was that a bucket list moment for you? Would you say, like, as a child growing up, were you like a big WWF fan, or were you like, what were you into as a kid? What was young Steve?
Yeah, because does any of this like
jog your memory? Like, we got the Star Wars, we got the Lando, we got the.
I remember WWE. I wasn't like that big into it. Like, for me as a kid. It's the first thing that I really latched onto that I was crazy about was Little League Baseball. That was just my thing. I was like, Little League Baseball. And like, I would wear my game day uniform, like on days when I didn't have a game. I just go because it made me feel cool, you know? Like, it made me feel like, dude, I'm a badass, like I'm a baseball player. and then baseball, gave way to kind of like I wanted to be like a heavy metal kid, and then I wanted to be a skateboard kid, and then I wanted to be like a pothead kid. You know, it was just all like, and then I wanted to be like a stunt dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was never really about wrestling.
But you never got into the comics the scary movies and. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
look
like
at Baby Yoda.
Marvel.
We got Baby
Yoda
Yoda right here.
You got Alfred E. Newman on your arm.
Everybody, like
you know.
And then I heard you don't play video games.
Yeah, I'm not.
Everything about you screams that you play video games. Like my wife tried to tell me the other day, when are you gonna stop playing video games? I said, I'll never do it. I'll never stop playing video games. Steve, I've very rarely taken a hard stance with her. I'm normally like, whatever. But she's like, quit playing video games. I'll buy a Barbie dollhouse. And I'm like, well, buy one as long as I get to keep playing my video games. I'll never stop. But it's like, you know, you everything about you screams video games.
I'll tell you why that's not the case. Is because everything about me is at my core, through and through, I am an attention whore. That motivates every decision I make. You know
what you can do though? Honestly. There's a thing called Twitch now.
Yeah.
So you could beat on people and your fans are like, oh my God, he's so good at video games.
Right.
Like, so it gives me attention because I'm a bit of an attention whore myself.
Right. I get that. But, I mean, dude, I came up before Jackass. Mm-hmm. Like, I dropped out of the University of Miami in 1993, and I'm talking about I'm going to become a crazy famous stuntman, filming my own stunts with a home video camera, and everybody who heard me say that just felt sorry for me. Like this fucking guy. Because back in 1993, there was no reality TV. There was there was no precedent for what I was saying I'm gonna do. And I was like legitimately homeless, like living on people's sofas for 3 years after I dropped out of the University of Miami.
Wow.
Talking about I'm gonna become a stuntman.
That's some dark moments.
And I was doing I was videotaping stunts. I was doing everything I could, but I wasn't really getting the traction. Then I found out about Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, if I can graduate from Ringling, if I'm gonna be a Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College graduate, then finally people will take me seriously as a stuntman because I'll be a trained circus professional. And I got into it, which was a big deal, getting into clown college. And you know, I went through clown college, but I didn't get a contract with the circus. But now, like, I had a career as a clown, and I was able to, like, you know, earn a living as a clown. And then I was actually working in a circus the first day we started filming Jackass.
So I know that now, like, you became a vegetarian. Now
I'm back on fish. Yeah,
fish now, and for multitude of reasons, right? Not only for, you know, you having a conscience about everything.
Right.
So what do you feel about the circus? Right.
I fucking hated it
because they're all gone now.
Right. Well, except for all the ones that have animals.
They're all gone. Yeah. Like, you like that? Like, I mean, you went to school,
dude. Like when I was in clown college, they had like one day they brought in the people from the public relations people from the circus. They brought them in, and these people were like, okay, some of you are going to be working for the circus, the greatest show on earth. And your job is going to be to get to the city that the circus is coming to a week in advance to promote it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're going to get to the... And so you're going to be doing these interviews. And in these interviews, there will be times when people ask you about the animals. And you shut the fuck up. You have no opinion. You're not your...
Really?
Yeah. They're like... Damn. They're like, you don't even weigh in. They were, you know, and I was like, damn, this is awkward. You know, this is weird. Like, they're talking to us kind of like some fucked up shit that's going on.
Some shit's going on.
Yeah, and I never worked for the Ringling Circus, but I worked in another circus that had 3 elephants and a tiger.
It's messed up. Is it messed up?
I thought it was messed up as fuck. Yeah.
What did they do to it? Like, because the cages are too small and shit, right?
Well, I mean, in the case of the elephants, my experience was it overwhelmingly felt like the circus owners, you know, and the people backstage working for the circus were like way more scared of the elephants than anybody in the audience.
Really?
Yeah, like because the elephants will just snap and go on fucking
rampage.
Yeah. How many times have circus elephants just snapped, gone on a rampage, trampled people to death? They were constantly in fear that was going to happen. And the thing about the guy who wrangles the elephants has this stick that's got tassels on it, and the tassels are so that to disguise this fucking, it's called a bull hook.
Oh my God.
That's the only reason they have tassels on there, is to disguise this fucking hook where they're like fucking stick the hook and the elephants have like such tough skin that they won't show damage, but it hurts. That's how God. And then even in the most basic sense, they say that to train an elephant, you have to break its spirit. You know, like,
that's awful.
That's terrible. Everything about it's awful. In their natural habitat, an elephant will walk like an average of like 90 to 100 miles every day. Some shit like that. Like, you know, I remember that statistic, but they walk a fucking lot. And then in the circus situations, they're fucking chained to a pole. They're crammed onto this train in this little compartment that's only as big as they are, and then they're shuttled around on this train to 50 cities every year. Like,
Yeah.
there's only 2 weeks off for when they're not, and like when they're not jammed into jammed into a train or chained to a fucking pole, like they're being hooked with the bull hook.
I actually, like I said, I grew up like with all this. I've loved that. So I was a circus kid. Like I wanted to watch it so bad. I wanted to go to the circus. I wanted to be around and see the animals, and you just didn't know the treatment. But look, when I took my kids there, because I wanted my kids to experience what there were so many people on the corner with protesting.
Right.
And I was like, what in the hell is going on? 2 years later, no more circuses.
Right.
Everything's shut down. The Borneman brothers, so everything's done.
And thank God. I'm so
and you're not sad about it. You don't feel like it feels like a part of the world from the before is gone that maybe shouldn't have been a part of our world, right?
I'll tell you what makes me sad is that the Ringling Circus couldn't survive without the elephants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it makes me sad that abuse of those animals was so important.
Necessary. It was so necessary.
But what doesn't make me sad is that fuck that company. Fuck that company because like back when I went to clown college in 1997, and I say it was a big deal to get in because like they had auditions in 100 cities every year. You had to audition to get an application to clown college. Thousands upon thousands of people applied to clown college, but only 33 got in.
Wow.
And then after that, only 10 got contracts. So like it was a big deal. You know, like this big talent. It would have been a great reality TV show, but it was before reality TV.
Yeah.
And the thing was that we were competing for the people those 10 people who got contracts got paid $230 a week to live in a little fucking closet on the train that was like 6x3 or something.
Jeez.
Like, I mean, you're like crouched even like your bed was like a sofa cushion that like just went up against something and you flop it down and it's the whole floor.
Oh my
You
God.
know, like and
you thought you were winning because you left from being homeless.
right. But all these years later, they had some fucking annual like what alumni thing, and they reached out to me to make a video as part of like it was like a roast of some like veteran clown, you know. And there are other people who went to clown college. Penn and Teller, one of those guys was a clown. He went to clown college. Bill Irwin, the guy from Sesame Street and shit, he went to clown college. So I'm like one of like just a handful of people who kind of became like sort of mainstream. You know, profile. And so I made this video to play, and I knew damn well they were going to play this video at this gala event with the owner of all the brass of the circus, you know, and this is probably like close to 10 years ago, before when the circus was before it shut down. And I make this video knowing I'm talking to the fucking owner of that circus. And I say, hey, everybody, it's Steve-O, your favorite animal rights activist clown. You know, like I'm like, dude, I'm the fuck. You know, I say, man, being like people know I'm a clown, and I very often get asked, does the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus abuse animals? And you know what I tell them every time? Of course they do. Look how they treat their people.
Oh my God. They didn't screen the video before they played it?
They fucking screened it. And I heard about it from a bunch of people. The room was divided. A lot of people were just so fucking satisfied and happy. A lot of people were horrified and offended. And I stick by it because the way they fucking treat their people was bullshit, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to talk about when people are complaining about the UFC? I mean, dude, they got the Ringling Circus had like they would take like circus families, like whole families from like Hungary or some shit. They got all these great circus tradition in Europe. They bring these families over to the U.S. to be in the circus, and they would hold their fucking visas over their heads.
Jesus Christ,
and
Steve.
Pay the whole family like $300 a week.
Steve.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
the way
crazy.
if you extrapolate the treatment of the fucking human beings by the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus, then it just follows that the animals were abused. That's my personal opinion.
Steve.
Fuck that company. I'm not sad that they're gone.
Last thing before we let you go. Massive UFC fan.
I
go to work. You're the first person in the arena. You and Conor McGregor had an issue. Give me like a really quick, your whole UFC thing, why you're there so early, why was Conor trying to fight you, like what was going on there?
Dude, I love the UFC, man. And like I said on my podcast with you, I cannot express the extent to which I am impressed. Impressed doesn't do it. Like you and dude, Dominic Cruz, Michael Bisping, Rogan, like the
Dominic Cruz said he turns me down. That's not a good teammate, Dominic Cruz. When he said, "I mute DC," tell Dominic you're not supposed to do that to your own coworker, man. You don't remember that?
What do you mean mute him?
He was at a press conference and goes, "Yeah, when I'm watching fights, I usually mute DC because he doesn't do his homework." That's not a good.
He's just fucking with you. That
Okay. Is he?
That's not real, dude.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Because you can tell a joke.
Dude, it makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense. And I'm just repeating what I said on my podcast, but it's like the analysis, like I just imagining what it's like to be you when you say, okay, now he's gonna have to roll over onto this side and get this one arm in this direction. Like it's so common that you analyze the situation, you say out loud what the person needs to do, and then it's exactly what the fuck happens. And it's so fascinating, the level of knowledge, of insight, and you guys articulate your thoughts so well, and it's just stellar. The professionalism in your broadcast, plus the balance between how you guys poke fun at each other, how you kid around, like but like it's just a perfect balance of being serious and professional, but but fun and buddies
But the fights are fun. The fights are like the best thing in the world.
The commentary, that's the worst fucking thing about going to the fights. Is that not being able to hear the commentary?
We can work something out next time. We'll get you some headphones,
dude. I'm sitting there on the fight with it was Glendale, Arizona. It was Adesanya against Vittori. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there next to Sugar Sean O'Malley in the fighter section, and I got my fight pass with my headphones on, and so I'm like a solid 3 minutes behind on the commentary, but I gotta hear what you guys.
You gotta hear what's going on.
I don't even care if it's like the live action is 3 minutes ahead, fucking. But I'm just that much of a.
Hey, what about Rose Namajunas and Carla Esparza?
I mean, dude, like,
have you ever seen anybody freeze up like that? And the reason I asked you about this, is because I'm telling you, guys, he's their first fight. This dude does not leave for 7 hours. It's me, Joe Rogan, John Anik, and Steve O. We're like the only people in the arena outside of the families.
And my girl.
And your girlfriend. And my girl. But have you ever seen anybody freeze up like that, though?
I mean, it
was bad.
The only fight I can compare that to is Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou.
But that wasn't even that bad.
It was pretty fucking bad. You know, you had Ngannou had just lost to Stipe. You had all kinds of self-doubt. You had Derek Lewis like with an active back injury.
Yeah.
Like afraid to engage. I mean,
it was pretty bad.
It was bad.
I had to fight right after that. So I'm in the locker room like,
that was when you knocked out Stipe.
Yeah, I was like exhausted in the back, like trying to watch those dudes. I'm like, could this hurry up?
Dude, that was fucking epic, dude. Like you weren't. Was it the first round and you got in there with that uppercut?
Yeah. Boom, right hand.
Because it wasn't going your way up until then.
It was a good fight. It was even. You know, don't let Steve-O don't act like I was getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, I'm not saying
we were going good, but he was tough. He was tough. And I caught him with the right hand.
How about that eye poke on the fucking...
Every time. We've poked each other every time. But the last one, he got me good. I got him before. That last one was rough.
Yeah, dude, that last one had me and I think everybody else wondering if your eye was fucked for life.
It went knuckle deep into my eye. It literally messed with my equilibrium. I'm like, he jammed me so deep in there that my body kind of like started.
And after the fight, wasn't your eye like looking the
all
wrong
turned sideways.
direction?
Yeah, it was bad. It took a while.
Scary.
I wore an eye patch for a little bit. It was like a pirate.
That.
But he beat me, right? No excuse. The guy got it done. Like I said on your podcast, I got old. But I just want to stress how you love the fight game.
I do.
And
I love
fighters
the
are
fight
sensitive. You
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
even really say much bad about Conor. But he came at you because you said somebody was
Well,
nice to you.
I did. I did. I was down in that fucking place where all kinds of UFC fighters and skateboarders, like all my people go down to Colombia to get stem cell treatment from this company called BioAccelerator. I was going to ask if you've been down there.
I need to go
Is that-
down
is
there.
that
Rogan's
Jo-
been trying to get me to go back.
Is that Joey Granith?
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah,
Joey's
yeah.
he's all tight with Cyborg.
Yeah.
Joey's the man. And so yeah, I went down there, and I was down there like I think it was while I had the IV in my arm. They're flushing like 1 million stem cells through my bloodstream, and I got a text from Dana's social media guy saying, "Hey, could you make a video for UFC's social media?" Making your prediction in this Conor
And Dustin.
Conor and Dustin. What was it? It was the third one.
The third one in July, yeah.
the third one. And I can totally understand why.
But just saying that someone's going to win a fight
But
isn't.
that's not all I said.
Tell me what you said.
I said we've got Dustin Poirier coming up. For McGregor Poirier 3. I said that I think that the odds makers, just that like Poirier was like barely a favorite. They had it almost equal, and I just said I don't think that makes any fucking sense. I think Poirier is going to walk through McGregor easily, and I think that Poirier is a better, not only a better fighter, but a better person. And
That's what got him.
Yeah.
That's what got
That's
him.
what got him.
I said he's a better and dude, I stand by that to this very day. We talked on my podcast about how all the trash talk and the way that the UFC has kind of turned into this sort of trash talk machine. All the promotion is kind of skewed that way. And you said it's good for the sport. I don't disagree.
I think it's good.
I don't disagree, but as I told Poirier, after after McGregor's leg broke and where I said to Poirier, I said, man, I hope there can be a new era of UFC where the real stars are people with class, with integrity, with respect. I don't need all this.
You don't need all the trash talk.
I don't need it. And you know what, Dustin Poirier, man, credit to him.
He's a great guy.
He said, "That's what I want for the whole world." Can you imagine
Wait a
that?
minute, that guy, he's a good guy.
I'm saying I want the fight game to have respect and integrity and class, and he's like, man, I just want that for the whole world.
Steve-O, thank you
Yeah.
so much, man. Appreciate it. Guys, go follow Steve-O's YouTube. Steve-O's Wild Ride. I'm sure each and every one of you done. Steve-O also has a new book, September 27th, 2022. A Hard Kick in the Nuts. What I've learned from a lifetime of terrible decisions. That's the title.
Thanks,
That is
man.
a fantastic title.
It's a great book, man. And dude, what an honor to be your first guest,
Yeah,
man.
tremendous.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
for joining us, man. We appreciate it. As you can see, I don't let Jazen talk very much. I don't. Hey, I said, sit there.
I'll get
He said,
I'll
he
get
said,
my shit
he
off.
said the girls are gonna like me. I said, well, you sit there and look pretty
think,
while I talk to Steve-O.
You know what,
Don't
dude?
listen to that.
It's tough to get a word in edgewise sometimes with me. I'm an asshole.
Like you said, you love attention.
Yeah.
My man.
And dude, you got this going out on all the audio.
Yes,
and,
everything. Yep.
Yeah.
You guys like, subscribe, tune into my man Steve-O's Wild Ride. Until next time.
And to
Multifaceted.
everybody who came here from my podcast, thank you for giving love to DC.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.